With MLB opening day right around the corner, I figured now would be a great time to see who MLB the Show 25 expects to win the World Series. So today we're going to simulate the season in franchise mode, and we're going to see who the game thinks makes the All-Star team, makes the playoffs, wins all the major awards, and obviously, most importantly, wins this year's World Series. Doesn't matter which team we pick here because everything's going to be on auto. I did it randomly, and we are going to use the Texas Rangers here in today's video. But again, since everything is on auto, it doesn't really matter who we end up picking. So the premise of today's video is super simple. We're going to simulate through the year, and as I said at the beginning, we're going to see what happens and what MLB the Show ultimately predicts will happen this season. So we're going to start by simulating to the All-Star break. I think that's a good starting point for us to see where the standings are and who ended up making the All-Star teams and participated in the Home Run Derby. So as you can see, the Rangers are doing pretty well, 58-39, nearly 100 games into the season. They lead the AL West. As we look across all of MLB's divisions, the Orioles lead the AL East comfortably, with the Yankees in last. That is fascinating, and last convincingly. Very close in the Central. The Tigers, Twins, and Royals all separated by a game, while Cleveland is fighting to stay out of the gutter with the White Sox, who haven't even been that bad. In the West, the Rangers have the lead. It's a two-horse race with them in Seattle. The Astros currently in last. As we look at the bottom of the AL, the White Sox are in dead last. But the Astros and Yankees are only a half a game ahead of them, and Cleveland's not much higher either. In the East, the Phillies have been baseball's best team, 9.5 games ahead of the Mets, 10.5 ahead of Atlanta. The Cubs are up by 3 on the Brewers in the Central. And then the West is competitive with the Padres, Giants, and Diamondbacks all within 7 games of the Dodgers. And the Rockies haven't even been that bad. There's currently 6 teams fighting for the 3 playoff spots in the NL. So there's really 9 good teams right now in the National League going for 6 spots. As we look at the Home Run Derby, Shohei has 38 home runs already. My God, that is a lot. His pitching stats are unreal, by the way, 2.41 ERA. But his offense is ridiculous. 38 homers, 95 RBIs. He's hitting .335, 749 slugging, and a B-WAR of 6.2. That is absurd. I figured I would see who ends up winning the Home Run Derby. They finally have updated the bracket. That's a win. Shohei Ohtani wins the Derby, although it says he has less home runs than Olsen. I don't really get it. Is the bracket wrong in some way? I'm not sure what these numbers are telling me. I think there's something off, though. Even MLB The Show is glazing Ohtani, though, when apparently Matt Olson had more home runs. Shohei still wins because, well, he's that guy, I guess. That'll bring us into the All-Star game now. Let's take a look at the All-Star rosters. Tarek Skubal gets the start for the AL team. That's pretty dope. Albert Suarez makes it at 35 years old, 1.42 ERA. Hello. Cody Bradford's another odd one. He did really well in our fantasy draft video. I should have put him in the list of guys you need to trade for, which included Kevin Kelly, who makes it as a reliever. Felix Bautista and Emmanuel Clase lead the closers. Usual suspects for the most part in terms of the position players. Big bounce back year at the plate, it looks like, for Adley Rutschman. Andres Jimenez makes it. His offensive stats are not the best. I guess this is also accounting for his defense. Cool to see that MLB The Show cares about that. Colson Montgomery makes it. That's weird, since he's hitting .181, hitting a homer per every 150 at-bats, and has a negative 2.1 WAR. That's the 5th worst in the MLB. It's better than Luis Ariz, though. But I'm not sure why he's in. Even for the argument that every team needs one, they have Penn Murphy in the game already. Masataka Yoshida's a surprise one. His OPS is actually a career low, but he gets in. Luis Robert there as well. Another reason as to how on God's green earth is Colson Montgomery here. Zach Wheeler, the starter for the National League team. Spencer Schwellenbach, the youngster, ends up making it. As for the relievers, Edwin Diaz tops the list along with some of the usual suspects. Will Smith behind the plate. Keibert Ruiz has 13 home runs and 23 RBIs. Those teammates got to get on base for the poor soul. Although he has to get on base too. His walk rate is abysmal, but still, poor guy. Michael Toglia makes it for the Rockies. He's having a nice year. 18 homers for Tyler Fitzgerald. 19 for Connor Norby. Geraldo Perdomo makes it. It looks like he's missed half the year. I'm not really sure how he would have made the roster in that case. 19 dingers for Brenton Doyle. What a season it's been for the Rockies center fielder. Alec Burleson has 20 homers. Good to see some more out there, weirder players making it. Let's talk about some trades, though, as we make the trade deadline. Per usual, MLB The Show's trade logic here was awful. Jack Suwinski to the Padres for Leo DeVries, one of the top infield prospects in baseball, apparently fetches you Jack Suwinski. Matt Shaw, interdivision to the Cardinals. Ivan Herrera is good in this game, but that's crazy. Walker Jenkins to the Cardinals for Nolan Gorman. Minnesota would never do that. Sal Frelick for Christian Javier. That's a weird one. And then why would the Rays trade Carson Williams for Ahmed Rosario? Some odd ones here. They are clearly not valuing the prospects enough as we simulate to the end of the regular season. 87 and 75 for the Rangers. Looks like they kind of fell off here in the second half of the year. I believe they do end up winning the division, though, as the Orioles take the number 1 seed in the AL, competitive in the middle, and the Yankees in the bottom. Royals win the Central. Twins and Tigers grab wild card spots, although the Tigers did not play all that well down the stretch. Cleveland had a good second half, though. Rangers win the West. Mariners grab a wild card spot. So that ends up being your 6 in the AL. I could honestly see it being that group in real life. A little bit surprised the Yankees miss and the Astros as well, though. The Phillies, 105 and 57, by far the best team in baseball. Cubs win the Central. Dodgers win the West. Diamondbacks and Giants grab playoff spots with the Mets. While the Braves and Brewers miss out by 1 game, Padres miss out by 2. So the NL wildcard race was clearly very competitive. In terms of league leaders, Jose Ramirez wins the batting title and is the hits king in the American League. Home run title ended up being Aaron Judge. 44 feels low for him. I feel like this game does not do Aaron Judge justice. 109 RBIs for Gunnar Henderson. That feels low to be in first place. Judge leads the way in walks, on base, slugging, and obviously OPS as well. As for the NL, Kyle Tucker wins the batting title. He also finishes with the most hits. He also leads in doubles with Shohei Ohtani, and my glorious king, Jung-Hoo Lee, tied for first. Bryson Stott, 13 triples, and Shohei Ohtani homered 60 times. My God, I've seen some crazy seasons from Shohei in this game. I don't think I've seen 60. Yeah, these numbers are outrageous, dude. Slugging percentage of 707. How was his WAR only 9? I get he didn't play defense, but still. Shout out Brenton Doyle and Connor Norby finishing that high, as Ohtani has 155 RBIs and 124 runs. He could have sat the last month of the year and still been in first for those, while finishing in second for stolen bases. Only one guy within 120 points of his slugging. Only one guy within 100 of his OPS. As for the pitching stats, Brian Wu leads the AL in wins. Only 2 losses for Bowden Francis. Only 3 for Tarek Skubal. 50 saves for Will Vest. Skubal leads the way in ERA. Home runs allowed only 7. Nearly half of second place. I wonder who's going to win the Cy Young here. Although Cole Reagans clearly leads in strikeouts, none of these guys have that high of strikeout ratings, though. Skubal leads in innings. Bryce Miller leads in walks allowed and whip, while Skubal's 6.6 WAR is 2 points higher than second place. That's the same difference as second place and 25th. Goddamn. As for batting WAR, a lot of guys in the 6 to 7 range as Dylan Cease leads in wins. A few guys lead in losses, including Kyle Harrison. 53 saves for Porter Hodge, the most in baseball. Nestor Cortez, the lowest ERA. Blake Snell, least amount of homers. 5 shutouts for Zach Wheeler. My God. He had 6 complete games. Good Lord. He also allowed the least amount of walks, despite being a Chad innings eater. Had the lowest whip and had the highest pitching WAR. I wonder who's going to win the Cy Young here. Shohei Ohtani, meanwhile, with the highest batting WAR. Kyle Tucker above 8, though. That's pretty crazy. Ohtani, though, ends up winning the MVP, obviously, even though his whip was actually the highest it's been in his entire career, other than 2020. So Ohtani and Judge end up winning the MVPs. No surprise. Skubal wins the Cy Young. David Festa in second. Hello. Jose Ramirez batting title. Chris Bubich, reliever of the year award. Kobe Mayo, rookie of the year. Judge wins Hank Aaron. And then in the NL, Dylan Cease, the Cy Young. Are you kidding? He had a great year, but Zach Wheeler got robbed. This game cares way too much about win-loss record in terms of the pitching awards. Kyle Tucker batting title. Emilio Pagan, reliever of the year. Griffin Conine, rookie of the year with a disappointing season from Sasaki. And then Shohei wins the Hank Aaron. The only other surprising award was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. winning the Gold Glove at first base over Yandy Diaz and Spencer Torkelson. Quite the pristine group of defenders. Let's look at the playoffs now as they simulate through the wild card rounds. The Mariners beat Minnesota. Detroit sweeps the Rangers. Go Tigers. The Mets finish above Arizona, and the Cubs over the Giants. Into the divisional series. The number 1 seed Orioles need 5 to get by Seattle. The Tigers upset the Royals. Look at my gritty Tigers. The top-seeded Phillies sweep the Mets, and the Dodgers need 5 to beat the Cubs. As for the AL and NLCS, unfortunately, the Tigers get swept. Cinderella run is over as the Orioles will play against the Dodgers in the World Series. They beat the Phillies in 5. This was the Phillies' year. They won like 100 million games. But they get blasted by the Dodgers in the NLCS. So the Orioles, with their young core, finally get over the hump. The question with this team is the pitching, but Zach Eflin, Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, and Dean Kremer are all doing well here in the postseason. As for the Dodgers, we already know how good this team is, led by Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Shohei Ohtani's having another strong postseason, 4 homers, hitting .333. Although the real star of the show, hitting above 400 with 8 home runs already, is Teoscar Hernandez. Those numbers are ridiculous. He is having an all-time postseason, and if he performs well in the World Series, we'll be putting him in rare air. Obviously, the pitching staff is quite talented, but Shohei Ohtani has struggled so far in the postseason. Despite that, though, the other guys have really produced. Snell, Sasaki, and Yamamoto all playing well. The bullpen doing a good job as well. So it's time for the moment of truth, the World Series. The Dodgers and the Orioles. Baltimore wins Game 1 off of a shutout by Eflin. Dodgers get back in Game 2. 9-0 in Game 3. Sasaki disaster class. 10-2 for the Orioles in Game 4. And they win the World Series in 5, winning the last game 9-5. Freeman goes deep. Ohtani goes deep twice. But Shohei got the start and did not make it out of the first inning, allowing 6 runs. What an awful start by Ohtani. The other pitchers really struggled late in this series too. Yamamoto allowed 5 in Game 4. Sasaki allowed 6 in Game 3. The pitching staff chokes as Gunnar Henderson wins the World Series and playoff MVP. Obviously, Teoscar Hernandez wins it in the NL. Ohtani's average goes way down to .232. Looks like he struggled to hit the ball in the World Series, and obviously that awful pitching performance in Game 5. As good of a season as Ohtani had, his World Series left a little bit to be desired. So MLB The Show says the Baltimore Orioles will end up winning the World Series. We'll see if that happens in real life. We'll see if some of these stats and breakout players happen in real life. I'll tell you what, these trades are definitely not going to happen in real life. MLB The Show was on one with those. But that'll wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new and excited for more MLB The Show 25 content. Peace out.